Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the last international game of rugby of the day, and it is a big one. It is Argentina at home taking on Scotland. Now, I have already heard that the commentators, I believe, are going to be speaking Spanish for the whole of this live stream, so we're probably going to have a little bit more of the makeshift commentary and not really being able to listen to them throughout this contest either, but it should be an exciting one. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys have rested well for you guys who have been to sleep as well. But looking through, first of all, at Argentina's lineup for this match, it is going to be Titas Chaparro in the front row alongside Julian Montoya and Gomez Cordella as the front row. Then the locks, Guido Petty and Matthias Alemano does slot in as number 5. Then it is going to be Gonzalez at number 6, Marcos Crema, very aggressive Argentine, and number 7. And then big Pablo Matera, he did get himself a Super Rugby cap recently. They will be looking, a Super Rugby championship, I should say. We'll be looking to continue that form and also come on the mighty Scotland. And there says Mickey Mouse, and also your suit is very Argentina in colour as well. Says I am nutty, or is it very Scotland? Who knows? Could be a little bit of both. And also when we back folks, says Gareth there, and also Vamos Argentina. Currently we can hear the bagpipes playing here for the Scottish. But like I mentioned, the commentary is actually all in Spanish. So I have no idea what was being said, but I know only about one sentence of Spanish in my time, and that is Hola, bienvenido de nuevo al canal de Kiwi Lads. So that is maybe slightly translating to, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. But now, looking at Scotland's lineup, it is Koeman, Turner, and at Ferguson there. I just realised I only went through the Argentinian forward pack. So we will go through their backline first. Thomas Cupelli, Nicolas Sanchez, Geronimo de la Fuente, Matthias Orlando in the midfield, and then Emiliano Boffelli, Santiago Cordero, and Juan Cruz Malia slotting in at number 15. Now the Scottish starting lineup, it is Pierce Gorman, George Turner, and Xander Ferguson in the front row. Gilchrist and Gray making up the locks. Bradbury, Crosby, and Ferguson. No Hamish Watson in the starting lineup for this matchup. Ali Price there at 9. Kinghorn at 10. No Finn Russell here either, and also no Stuart Hogg, but instead Sam Johnson and Bennett making up the midfield. Darcy Graham, Duan van der Merwe, and Rory Hutchinson slotting in at fullback. And also we've got the very Scotland, my guy. There's it Nathan there as well. And also I'm conflicted, Scottish Heritage versus Southern Hemisphere Alliance. It's a tricky one to decide on, but at the end of the day, I think no matter what, this is going to be an awesome matchup. Both of these sides always bring that passion to the game of rugby. These are the benches as well. I'm looking out for Matthias Moroni in the later stages, and also Sam Skinner and Sione Tuipulotu. I had to pick a couple of these Scottish players, but we are just about to hear the Argentine national anthem, and there's certainly a decent crowd here for this contest, but I decided to leave the suit on for this matchup as well, as it is going to be a pretty awesome one to see it take place. But what we will quickly do is we will go like this. We'll add that, and I will add that. There we go. We have got everything up that we need on screen. We are now going to be all rearing to go for this big old matchup between these two sides. I'm excited. The Argentine national anthem, of course, normally we see a lot of passion here. And, oh, yes, I can do this. Imagine being Welsh. It's a rough one for them, wasn't it? Very close to being able to get themselves the victory, but just missing out in the end. Currently, Argentina, they have got a very long instrumental at the start of their national anthem, though I believe some words are about to come upon us. Maybe. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will be able to get themselves the win in this contest? And also, who will be the first try scorer? Go the Pumas, says Honor there. And also, Belgium versus Canada. Who are you backing? Says I'm nutty. I think I'd back Canada for that matchup. I don't know how far down Belgium are on the rankings, but I believe they are just a little bit lower than Canada. So I will go with Canada into that contest. And I believe it started relatively recently, as well, I should mention. Currently, I'm looking out for Agustin Crevi. He's going to be coming off the bench for Argentina. He has got a huge amount of caps there. You can see the tears, all the sweat running down the face of some of the Argentinian players. But Pablo Matera, after getting himself the Crusaders win of Super Rugby Pacific, he'll certainly be enjoying his time back for Argentina. But we are now ready to go. Agustin Crevi, even though he has been there many, many times, still wipes away the tears. Right. The question is it going to be Spanish commentary or is it going to be English commentary that we do end up getting ourselves for this matchup? We will have to wait and see. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Wait a minute. they just had Nick Berry up on the screen. I'm just going to go back quickly and see what it said about the English commentary, as there was, one moment. English commentary will commence as soon as it's available from our providers. Okay, that is a little bit of information that I did need to see. So pretty much we aren't too far away from the English commentary. And there we go. Now we've got some fellas with some Scottish accents, and they are thick Scottish accents as well. And also Australia by 2, South Africa by 3, and then the Pumas by 11. Says Rio Gamer as the prediction. You might not be a mile off, and also as he the ref. Says Gareth, he is indeed Nick Berry in charge of this contest. And also we've got the good crowds and there as well, says Nathan. Now we are ready to go. They found the ball, which means we are now going to be going into full screen. Nicolas Sanchez will be kicking off this one, and Creevy is playing. Thought he retired, says I'm nutty. I thought he did as well, but I think he got a new lease after playing for the London Irish. He decided he wanted to come back for international duty, but Nicolas Sanchez kicks this one off long, and this match now underway, nicely taken by Grant Gilchrist inside of the 22 currently for Scotland. And we're seeing some close games of rugby for the international round that we've had. And also, shame, going to be such a good game. But there's a Muppet in charge, says Gareth. And also, he is on the bench. So here's Gregor Galway, and let's go Pablo. So here's a Rio Gamer as well there. Now Argentina have got the possession back. Penalty advantage as well, or I believe it is a knock-on advantage, in fact. Now recycling this ball quickly. Thomas Kubeli playing for the Western Force recently, but not actually for the most recent season. He was there for a little while, and it's a shame that he isn't going to be there anymore, as he was doing very nicely for the Force indeed. Now Nicolas Sanchez goes back across, getting Juan Cruz Malia involved for his early touch in this match. Nice quick hands from Titas Chaparro. Still hanging on to this. Kubeli passes back to Sanchez. Good ball retention so far from Argentina. Looking for the quick hands. Matthias Maroni receives it on the outside, and also we'll get there. Nick will lose his Berry tonight. Says, I am nutty there. He might, depending on whether or not he allows Argentina to play some free-flowing rugby. I know that he won't be the most popular man in Argentina if he isn't able to. Now Kubeli goes back to Sanchez, and it seems to be the recycling of the ball very efficiently for Argentina. Emiliano Boffelli takes another carry forward. Now nice inside pass. I believe that was off the Titas Chaparro. Still available. Kubeli goes back across once again. And now nice running for Pablo Matera down the wing. He's been bent over backwards, though, and the tackle by Darcy Graham, who does help him up to his feet as well. One of the smallest guys out there on the pitch, but he has been able to muscle up with Pablo Matera, who didn't have a lot of space down that wing. But he's been driven into touch. 1 minute 46 into this contest, and Nick Berry is the Blackberry, trying to find a relevance against much bigger rivals, or much better rivals, says Gareth there. Now Scotland, they are going to have themselves this line-out throw, and it will be none other than George Turner, who has got himself the opportunity, I believe. Who does George Turner play for? Is he an Edinburgh boy, or is he somewhere else in Scotland? Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, in the URC. Because I know that Dave Cherry's an Edinburgh man, but is it also George Turner at Edinburgh? Or is he at Glasgow? Might be at Glasgow. Maybe, but now doing nicely now. Hanging on to this ball for Scotland. Turnover, though, and it was actually Juan Matan Gonzalez, one of the smallest forwards out there on the field. He's done brilliantly there, and he has been able to get the turnover. I believe he's only about 90 kgs or something along those lines, which is quite small for a loose forward. Definitely nowadays when you see guys getting up to about 110 or so. And also the tie is kind of weird. Do you wear a bow tie? Says Max Power. Well, this one, yeah, may not be sitting correctly at this stage. One moment, I'll have a look. Oh, no, it's not doing too bad at the moment. It has been on for about the last maybe 10 or so hours, if not maybe a bit longer. So, yeah, that is why it's probably looking a little bit worse for where I don't actually own a bow tie, but maybe one day we could look at getting a nice bow tie. What color bow tie would I get, Max? Do let me know, but it looks like from the touchline now, it is going to be Nicolas Sanchez trying to line up this kick. He's got 838 points from his 93 caps. I believe he recently overtook the record of Agustin Creevy for the most performances for Argentina as well, and also looks, and then also pink and green for the colour of it, and also his tyres like the refereeing this weekend, Spotty, says I am nutty there. And yeah, I guess it's worked out quite nicely because the brighter spots, or the spots could be considered Argentina, And then the darker colour could be considered as Scotland, but that kick has gone over for Argentina, and now they have got themselves a 3-0 lead at home up against Scotland. So a good start to this match at 0-0. Sounds like an exciting game so far, says Hershey, although now making its way up to 3-0 for Argentina. So getting the early penalty, we knew that they would try and get as many three-pointers early on as they can. Try and take this game away from Scotland before it even really gets going. But we saw the comeback from South Africa in that second half. We saw that they were down 15 points, and Scotland are the kind of side that could also come back from a massive deficit if they do get it right. That ball is swirling in the air, and it's going to be taken nicely. I believe it was knocked on, I thought, by Argentina, but they're going to be able to hang on to this ball just for now. Now, Thomas Kubeli. I don't actually think it is Thomas Kubeli, though, who is starting at number 9. It does look a lot more like Gonzalo Bertrand. But I haven't really heard the commentator say anyone yet. And also, Scotland got them surrounded then, says Joshua there. Maybe. Oh, that was a good take from the young number 15 there, Rory Hutchinson, who does get a massive opportunity to start this matchup. It is going to be stolen back by Argentina. Crema now goes across to Jorge Montoya. Pablo Matera. That's the wide cut-out pass, but it is forward by about a metre or so. And they are going back for the initial knock-on. And also, am I the only spanner awake? There's us, says Gareth. You might be close to it, unless, of course, you count myself as a spanner, which I have no idea how I am awake at this point in time. We've been up for almost 20 hours, I think it is, or somewhere around there. And we're coming off about 5 hours sleep before that 20 hours. So we are still going strong. I think it's just rugby. Rugby wakes me up, keeps me awake for a long time. But this game, by the end of it, I feel like my eyelids are going to be relatively heavy. But then we might actually be doing another live stream at about 4 p.m. this afternoon, which is in about 7 or 8 hours. Yeah, somewhere around there, I think it is. And greetings from San Francisco, California, Archie. And there as well, says Roberto. And also, yes, it is Bertrand playing. Kubeli got hurt during warm-ups. Okay. That makes sense. I was thinking it doesn't look like Thomas Kubeli the way that his hair is. Who is coming off the bench instead, Roberto? Do let me know. And also, what do you think of the Springboks game? I think the Springboks got very lucky, to be honest. They were able to just hang in there long enough and get themselves that penalty right at the end. They did end up winning them the game, but they will not be happy with that kicking game. They just didn't quite seem to play the rugby that would have suited their style, because they did actually have quite a few of the stats in their favour. It was just that kicking that kept on giving the ball back and giving Wales more opportunities. And also it's 3:17 p.m. here in Atlanta, USA. Sees Max Power there, and also an Argy Bargy here watching in the US. Yeah, hopefully you have been enjoying the coverage. We are going to be covering the game next week for Argentina and Scotland as well. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is Pablo Matera off the back of the scrum now. Nicely done. Nicolas Sanchez linking up beautifully. Juan Cruz Malia does get dragged down in a great tackle by, I believe it was Kinghorn, was able to stop it. Now Bertrand trying to get this ball back. It's going to be another advantage in favour of Argentina. Now Marcos Cremi plays aggressively no matter where he plays in the world. In England are looking quite underwhelming, as I see is kind of there. And also go Pumas, love from New Zealand, and also greetings, says Nathan there as well. I hope you are also doing well, mate. Bertrand goes off to Pablo Matera. In fact, no, it was the number 3 there, Francisco Gomez Cordero. Now across Sanchez. This is a great backline from Argentina once again, and they just keep on linking up beautifully. Matera's just run out of space, and the ball has gone out, but they are going back for the penalty. Also, we have got the why did the Welsh scrum half kick that ball away? That is a very good question. And I guess it's one of those ones that little moments in the game can shape it, and that was one of them. And also make it 4-0 to the Southern Hemisphere. There's JP, and also Elton lost us points. There's Joshua there. And also, if it's 3:17 in Atlanta, what's the time in San Francisco? Morning, I'm guessing. There's Gareth there. Oh, it might not be a mile off. I think they're about 16 hours behind us or somewhere along those lines. So it might be about 11 a.m. somewhere around there. And also we have got there 12:18 noon in San Francisco, enjoying your commentary, watching here on Flow Sports with no commentary, says Roberto there as well. And also, please no E-word. I assume that is Elton, possibly for that one. I actually learned some more of Iron Man, fun fact, while we were in the break. I did mention how I was probably going to play guitar just while I was pretty much trying to fill in time, because we've had about 2 hours off in between our Springboks versus Wales live stream. And this one, it's actually going to become a free kick now to Argentina. They might not mind a scrum here and see whether or not they can throw Pablo towards the line. It's only a free kick. So they are going to be taken on the scrum now. It's been all Argentina for the first 9 minutes. Scotland hardly even touching the ball for the first little while of this contest, and they will have to try and change that relatively soon. Definitely if Argentina get themselves the first try of the contest. Already given the first penalty not too long ago for Nicolas Sanchez to be able to convert, getting closer and closer to 900 points at international level. Incredibly impressive for the Argentine fly half, and hopefully we do get to see him in the Rugby Championship as well, which is not too far in the future. I believe that they do end up taking on Australia for their first games of the Rugby Championship, and 7-0 to Canada. Says, I am nutty there. Now Pablo Matera looks like he wants this one off the back. He does decide to go for it. Pablo Matera, great low tackle made on him by, I believe it was Luke Crosby. Now around the side, Jorge Montoya, he had a brilliant Rugby Championship last year, was one of the leading tacklers, and I believe he had the most tackles in the competition without missing a single tackle. Black Sabbath, nice Hamish, didn't think you'd be so inclined. Says Gareth there as well. I may end up trying it out at halftime, see whether or not I can hit the right notes again, but now Argentina still just 5 meters out from the line, 5 phases in, and Marcos Crema does find the offload to Pablo Matera. He drops the ball though, and it's kicked downfield by Scotland. That is going to be advantage over it. Sits up nicely. Oh, no advantage to going back. That was actually quite a big advantage from Nick Berry there. They are going to be going back for the original scrum feed to Scotland. 5 meters out from their own line. 2 handling errors apiece for both of these sides in the early stages. It looks like a beautiful afternoon in Argentina though. So I don't believe moisture will be a problem for this contest, but more maybe a little bit of the early nerves of playing. But Pablo Matera, it was a good run initially, but the ball just ended up coming free in his next carry after. Got slapped out of his hand by Bradbury. And also, you want to be like Fuff. Says Gareth there. And also, keep us posted, please, mate. Says Nathan there as well. And Vamos Pumas says, chalk up some purchase. And there, I wonder whether or not, do they have Canada versus Belgium on any, like, kind of World Rugby website or anything like that? Do let me know. I'm nutty. Now, Ali Price about to feed this ball on. I don't know where the first 11 minutes went. That's going to be the penalty to Scotland. I literally feel like we were talking for like 2 minutes. And beautiful weather in Jujay, warmer or way warmer than the rest of the country during winter months, says Roberto. And Vamos Pumas says chalk up some purchase in there as well. But do let me know your score predictions for this match, ladies and gentlemen. Blair Kinghorn will be kicking this one for the touchline. So the first opportunity for Scotland to actually have a little bit of the ball, as long as Xander Ferguson and a couple of the other big forwards are able to do their job, lifting the men up the line out. And also as William Wallace on the bench. He is not, but they have got instead Sione Tuipulotu, who's a pretty big individual. Rory Sutherland, I feel like, is kind of like the William Wallace of the bench, though. It's very impressive. And then I guess for a gladiator on the side of Argentina, you're definitely looking at probably Agustin Crevi. He's just been around for so long. Now, off the back, nice run from Nick Crosby. Now, Ali Price goes short side. Now, without Stuart Hogg and Finn Russell, those are some massive players that they have lost. And also Vamos Pumas. And then also Pumas by 15, says Nazi Williams for the prediction there. But yeah, do let me know, you guys who are in New Zealand and Australia, what was your sleep schedule like for tonight, I guess you could say? Because I know that for myself, I didn't end up sleeping throughout the day, but I've been up for about 20 hours. So what did you guys do? Did you end up sleeping after Australia versus England, or did you miss Australia, England? Did you wake up for South Africa, Wales? Do let me know what your sleep schedules did look up for the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Also, how old is Crevi? I believe he is sitting about, I want to say he's 34, somewhere around there. I might actually give that a quick Google. Argentina, Crevi. How old is he? I said 34. He's 37. Okay, he's older than I thought he was. He is still going strong at international level as well. Quite cold here in New Zealand, about 1 degree or whatever it is sitting at the moment. And also, Northern Hemisphere balls are really small, or feeling real small today. Scott's going to have some Celtic and English pride, says Coleman. Also, we've got there the draw is the prediction from Max Power in Argentina 33, Scotland 27, and Augustine is 37. Energizer Bunny, says Roberto. Yeah, he just keeps on going. And I feel like if he keeps on playing the way that he is for the London Irish, that man can go till he's 40 at least, as long as the body is up for it. Pierre Schorman now offloading it back across to Johnny Gray. Now Luke Crosby, nice carry forward. Scotland up to the 22. This is their first real good attacking opportunity of the half. They've got the advantage as well in the process, and it is going back for the penalty. And I think they will consider taking on the 3 here, as it is straight out in front of New Zealand Warriors to win. St. George Dragons and Wellington Saints, both to win today, says Jeffrey Fockwood, and also Argentina 26, Scotland 21 there. So I haven't seen too many predictions in favour of Scotland, I don't believe, for this matchup, but they are going to be taking on the shot. Blair Kinghorn will be worth a decent crack, and I believe that will make it 3-10 to Canada versus Belgium. Gripping stuff, says I am nutty there as well, but it was just a little bit of a mistake in the breakdown from Argentina, getting a little bit overzealous. And now Kinghorn will have the opportunity to add the 3 points on the board for Scotland. So we may see a bit of a slow, methodical pace for these two sides building in. He's had 59 points and 31 caps here, Blair Kinghorn, so doesn't normally have the kicking tee. Instead, Finn Russell normally would have that role, but with Finn Russell out, with Stuart Hogg also not there, it does mean it opens up opportunities for them. I've been up since yesterday morning, chilling with beer, listening to this great commentary. Auckland, New Zealand baby jokes, says Nazi Williams there as well. So I've been up since yesterday morning, so you've probably almost been up for 24 hours as well, have you, Nazi Williams? And Celtic, not Celtic, is how you pronounce Celtic, my friend, in every sense except the Celtic soccer team, my friend. See, that's the thing. We have got a team about 30 minutes up the road called Celtic, and that is probably where I end up saying Celtic rather than Celtic. So I do apologise for that. But yeah, we have got a team just up the road. We actually used to play up against them in cricket called Celtic. So I think that's why I end up saying it. And in that way, that was close to being in touch. I think it was actually taken into touch by Scotland. So because of it now, Argentina have got themselves the throw about 15 metres out from the line. And also if the Pumas are disciplined, they will win. But it should be close, says Roberto. And also need Belgium to win, as well, says Nathan. Now, Julio Montoya, and also we have got there. And I get you are so tired. You're an animal man, says Colm. There's, oh yeah, we've been up for a little while, to say the least, but I'll probably end up sleeping for a good 24 hours after this, so we'll be all good to go. And I accidentally got some powder in my nose, says Nazi Williams. That is unfortunate. Was it like cocoa powder or like anything along those lines? So E-word Elton. I love the Murray Abies game against Ireland. By the way, I'm a new fan of that number 15, as well, says Roberto. But now nice carry forward once again. Argentina only 10 metres out from the line now. And so Celtic is pronounced Celtic. Are you learning something new every day? Says Max Power. But yeah, for as long as I know, like the team up the road have been called Celtic. But I guess maybe that's just a Kiwi way of just, I guess, slightly making things more basic, I guess. Accidentally powder, yeah. And there says Gavin also, no, E-word. Says it, Gareth there. And cocoa powder, Seamus, you gas. Says Colm there as well. But now, once again, Argentina will be able to go for the 3-pointer. We are 17 minutes into this contest already, almost a quarter of the way through. Did go to Guido Petty at the front. And then in the maul, it started to go backwards for Argentina. And it was an illegal join there for Scotland. I think it was Sam Johnson, they have said. He did end up getting it wrong. But they have actually got the bagpipes playing in this game, which is kind of awesome. For Scotland, they'll feel right at home. Point to the match. He has had 3 so far for Nicolas Sanchez. I just realised how slow the scoreboard has been, but now it is updated. And Argentina have been able to get themselves another 3 points. It is 6 points to 3, so a similar start to this match as we did have between Australia and England, although the difference is these two sides have both had some good attacking plays in the process as well. And easy on the flower. There's Roberto G. There as well, but 6 points to the home side, Argentina, and 3 to Scotland currently. But now on the halfway line, it is about to be kicked off once again by Scotland. And Viva Adidas. And Azar says, I am nutty. Yeah, in the chat, but they are saying about the fact that they were talking to Michael Cheika a little bit earlier on in the week. Tell you what, it's a beautiful day in the background. I'm just looking at that picturesque background of hotels, whole heap of mountains. It's probably some water somewhere nearby that would be absolutely lovely to be able to hopefully go swimming in, I would assume, unless, of course, there are some sort of dangerous creatures in the water. I'm not too sure whether or not there is. Now, We are just about to see another bit of a kick downfield, and also I can't see Scotland winning this. How's the crowd? There are a few Scottish in attendance, but probably I'd say about 95% going for Argentina in this contest. So, bit one-sided, I would say, overall with the crowd momentum, but Scotland, with missing a few of their veteran players as well, it's going to be tough. But they will certainly give it a good old crack for the Scottish. And also, I can't believe you're still going. You're going to sleep like a baby. What a legend. Great commentator, as I said, Rian Duplessis there. Yeah. Whenever I do end up crashing and going to sleep, I can guarantee you like 15 hours at least is going to be on the cards, and also beat you to it. Says Gareth there, and some river maybe over there is half a continent on the east, and the Andes Mountains on the west. So pretty landlocked, says Roberto there as well. Well, it looks like Nicolas Sanchez may have some sort of injury. He's limping towards the touchline. I don't think this is too good for Nicolas Sanchez. It's like he is in quite a bit of discomfort, but now passing it back across. Ali Price gives it off to Kinghorn. Johnny Greyheart, and what time is it for you? It is currently 7:30 a.m. A quick tap from Ali Price. Nice pass off to Hutchinson. Now trying to link up. Doesn't quite work out. It's gone backwards, though. And now big Xander Ferguson does carry forward. Price goes across to Pierre Schurman. Has his ankles taken out from underneath him. Ali Price off to Kinghorn, finds the short ball, but it is going to be a knock-on. Unfortunately, that pass just wasn't quite on for them, and now it's a nice run forward. Brilliantly done from, I believe it was Geronimo De La Fuente. Trying to link up with someone, but it's ripped away by Duan van der Merwe. It's come off him into touch. And now I believe it will be the Argentinian line out. Nicolas Sanchez, he's disappointed. I hope that's nothing too serious, because he did actually do something similar last year with the injury, but he has now been taken off the field. You can see how emotional Nicolas Sanchez is there as well. And I'm so thankful that you stay up all night just for us, says Ollie. And yeah, at the end of the day, like, I feel like you guys also help with the momentum of being able to just continue like going through game after game after game. This is our 6th live stream of the day. Each of them taking about 2 hours, some of them closer to 2 hours and a half, and none of the Northern Hemisphere teams going to win any test. There's King T there, and also we have got there Kinghorn, says Nazi Williams, and also I'm sure it's good sleeping weather in New Zealand, says Gareth. Yeah, I mean, my bed will certainly be warm when I go in there. I also would love to see Carreras at fly half, says Roberto there, and you may end up, I think you're actually going to get your wish, because with Nicolas Sanchez going off, Carreras now will get a good opportunity, and he was sensational in the Rugby Championship last year. He played wing, he played fullback, he played fly half, and he actually played all of them very well. Okay, they're just checking something here by the sounds of it, and also I bet $20 on Australia to win by 1-12. So here's a Max Scotland, so you would have been very happy with the result that we did end up seeing. Oh, what does Nicolas Sanchez even do there? I think he just got... Okay. No, Nicolas Sanchez, I think he just ends up doing an Achilles tendon or something. And then it looks like he is off. Too bad for Sanchez. Here's from Tucumán, just south of Jujay, or Jujay. Hopefully I've said that correctly. It's a kind of home crowd for him, says Roberto. So yeah, it is a big shame that he is missing for the rest of this contest. The Scottish are currently on a 5-0 winning streak against the Pumas. Says Max Power there. Do you know what their record's like when they play them in Argentina? Out of curiosity, Max, have they been able to beat them in Argentina multiple times in the past, or have they mainly been in Scotland that those ones have taken place? Oh, so Jujay. Oh, wait, so Jujay is actually how you would say it, and also try Jujay with a hard H, says Roberto. So it's not actually a J. Wait a minute. So it's like Julian Montoya. So kind of similar to that. Oh, it's Jujay. Okay, that is something that's quite useful. Thank you very much for helping me out for that pronunciation. And also, I think Wales need to change their colour from red to yellow, says Gareth there. And also, yes, almost right, says Roberto there. It's going to be the penalty advantage now. Great attack and run from Santiago Carreras. Dragged down by Luke Crosby. Now it's a knock-on and going back for the penalty. And also, yes, that kind of J. And as says Roberto. So, Jujay. Close. Maybe a little bit off. I'll get there in the end, I think. I haven't really seen too many games actually played in Argentina that I can think of. I wish that they'd have more games in Argentina, because at the end of the day, Argentina have gone everywhere around the world over the last 3 or 4 years, it's only fair that all of these sides, such as New Zealand, South Africa, etc., make their way over there. And also a bunch of hui in there as well. So I am nutty. And also Scotland beat Argentina 44-15 and Argentina back in 2018. And tough one to take for Ireland. Says Jack Cooney. Yeah, didn't quite go the way that they would have been after. But hopefully we do get to see a fight back in that second test match, which is next weekend. We are covering that on the channel alongside every other matchup that we are doing of international rugby. So I believe we're going to have a 6-match streak as well next week. So just because we've done it this week doesn't mean that is going to be the last time. He's got a man on a stick. Although my man on a stick is a little bit different. He's actually not playing in this match. It's Stuart Hogg, but the printer ate him and spat him back out, so he doesn't quite look like Stuart Hogg, but he's dressed for Halloween. He's a very happy man at the moment. Stuart Hogg, I would think, although probably not too happy with the way that this game is going. Emiliano Boffelli. Now, the thing is with Argentina, losing Nicolas Sanchez is massive for the points, because if this one ends up missing, it's probably going to be a little bit unfortunate for Argentina. To strike this ball. And he's missed it away to the right-hand side. So that is not what Emiliano Boffelli would have been after. And also New Zealand and France tactics is to take out Sexton, says Jack Cooney. And also, do you reckon time traveling is possible, says Max? Possibly not now, but in the future, I think it definitely could be. And Stuart looked like he joined the cast of Stranger Things here. Says it was, or Stranger Things there. Yeah, he does look a bit rough, doesn't he? He looks like he's been in the upside down for quite some time there. I've got Ian Foster on the other side. Seems friendly enough, doesn't he? Although I think some people would rather zombie Stuart Hogg as the New Zealand coach. Just saying. I know that it's a talking point over here at the moment. The 22 dropout for Scotland. It's a big one downfield. Taken nicely by Carreras. Now off to Pablo Matera, trying to break through the tackle of Scorman, but he's been able to drag him down nicely. Still inside of their own half here, Argentina once again. And also we have got their shocking ref as well. And New Zealand are very due teams of France, says Jack. And also we have got the Imagine being an Irish right now, says that Gareth. Well, that one as well. But Nick Berry, he does end up giving the penalty for a high tackle. It is a penalty to Scotland this time. Also, I think there's a few Australian and New Zealand. New Zealanders fighting tonight, says Jack. There certainly are. It is Israel Adesanya, Brad Riddell, I believe it is, just up the road, actually, born in Christchurch, I believe. And also a couple other Australians making their way onto the card as well for UFC and also Go Box. But it's still okay for now, says Moritz. It is currently the way that we sit, but who knows, maybe in the future it will become the mustache. Similar to what Pablo Matera's going with at the moment, and also full of sacred rugby monsters, says Roberto. And I never thought the Southern Hemisphere as the upside down before, says Roberto. And are you a UFC fan? I do try my best to watch as much as I can, but sometimes I do miss weeks just because normally Sunday's my sleep day after staying up late watching Northern Hemisphere rugby. And also Argentina 34, Scotland 18 into the case, says it was King T. But now lining up this kick, that one's gone over from Kinghorn. And we are back to 6-all between these two sides. I can't believe it's already been 25 minutes in this game, and it literally feels like it's been like 10. Somewhere around there. Currently, a man is warming up his bagpipes in the crowd. Although I hear a trumpet. Interesting. So I think someone was warming up their bagpipes, and someone was like, you know what? I don't need to blow into my bag to be able to make it make a noise. I can just blow into this trumpet. I think what's the trumpet input called that you blow into? Disconnects. Ladies and gentlemen, help me out. I took music for a while. I can't remember it, unfortunately. And also insane card tonight, says Jack there. Yeah, George might be coming around to watch it if my eyes do stay open for long enough. I think he was going to go to Timaru, possibly get some KFC or something. So it could be quite a fun afternoon for the boys to watch a bit of the fight. And I was going to do some live streams, but I don't know whether or not I'll still have a voice at that point. And now it's a knock-on advantage. Scotland have got it again. And also, great show. Keep it up, says Moritz. I do appreciate that a lot, mate. And we have been going all night. And we have got plenty more coming in the near future. Saxophone. Now, the little tiny, the disconnecting mouthpiece. Yep, it's called the mouthpiece, but it's got a fancier name. I'll go with a bugle. And there's us, says Roberto. And also, Scottish children learn to play the bagpipes on Ram, says I am nutty. I'm going to look up what it's called. mouthpiece of a trumpet. Proper name. Sometimes the mouthpiece, it's called the ambrosia, which sounds too fancy for this time of night, to be honest. And also, you mean the beak? I think it is called the beak on some certain instruments, isn't it? But yeah, the ambrosia. To be honest, that wasn't the word I was thinking of. And the beak. And also, man's got the tux out looking slickoos. Says Abiel, yeah, big matchup. So we had to make sure that we were wearing that. That's a massive kick there. Taking it quickly now, Blair Kinghorn. We can hear the bagpipes are now blasting at the ground currently. And that's another big kick. Everyone's just kicking at about 50 meters. I don't know whether or not it's because of the altitude or the lack of altitude that the ball's just flying around, and also the recorder flute. And there's our New Zealanders called Kiwis after the fruit or the bird. I believe after the bird. Yeah. I think the bird more likely. Kiwi fruit initially was actually called a Chinese gooseberry. Fun fact. But then I think the Kiwis stole it because they wanted to put it on the pavlova, which I guess the argument is still there. Was it New Zealand or Australia that created the pavlova? Either way, I'll still eat them. That was a flat pass on the halfway line. 28 minutes through. And now Argentina once again using their backline. Carreras gave it off into the hands of Matthias Orlando. And then Juan Cruz Malia takes it to ground. Nice quick hands from Pablo Matera and Marcos Crema. Those two actually played alongside each other and also against each other throughout competitions in the past. Now it's a great run forward here. Is that Guido Petty? Boy, he's got some pace for a lock. He was running like he was one of the backs. Now Santiago Carreras, only 5 meters out. It is another advantage in favor of Argentina. Now Marcos Crema trying to make his way over the line. And also it's just got the mouthpiece, I think. And the beer. And there's also the bird says Dallin. And also Australia says I am nutty for who created the pavlova. But now Argentina, they're getting close here around the side. Big power, but just short of the line. Once again, it looks like it is going to be Gonzalo Bertrano. Now pass it off. This will be the try. And Geronimo De La Fuente was almost held up, but he has been able to get it down. And it will be the try for Argentina and Geronimo De La Fuente. And like they're saying, the crowd are absolutely erupting here for this game. And also blowy bit. And finally some hit the gas, or someone hits the gas. Vamos Pumas, says Roberto. And also Vamos. Here's Max Powers there as well. So I guess actually, now that I think about it, some of you guys have got the ability of speaking Spanish, I believe. So how close is this to actually being correct? Because I did an intro once, and I don't know whether or not it was any good, but it was Bienvenido de nuevo al canal de Kiwi Lads. Is that actually like a proper sentence, or have I just put together a few different words, tried to make it a sentence? Do let me know. And De La Fuente, and there as well, I love it as well. Says Max Power, and also they try and Viva Rebok. Says I am not in also the Argentina flag, and also Vamos. Says it was there, and welcome to where? Pretty much just the Kiwi Lads channel, our channel, and it sounds like Maori. And as I says, I am nutty. I can actually only speak 2 sentences in Maori from my whole term that I did at school, and that was Homa e rima katahi tonu kata kata, which means high five, just kidding, because that is a useful life skill. And also Ka kite koe e tira wiki, which is see you next week. And Viva la Che, says it right there. Now lining up this kick from the touchline to Emiliano Boffelli. He hasn't got that one over though. So unfortunately, 0 from 2 for the kicking department, but the score still remains at 11 points to Argentina and 6 to Scotland. And we're 31 minutes through this contest. I cannot believe how quick this game has gone. I feel like it's because it's just a nice afternoon and both sides are playing at a frantic pace. We've hardly seen any scrums. And also, Amish, you still have a voice. Impressive, great coverage. Here's Charles de Kock. And there as well. And Bienvenidos al canal de los Muchachos, Kiwi as well, says Roberto there. And also the sentence is correct grammatically. The pronunciation sounds like ancient Sanskrit, says Max Power. And also, what's this cheer thing? I saw Viva la Dirt league ripping it off, says Gareth. So cheer, I think in pretty much in New Zealand just pretty much means like, yeah, good. Like cheer. Like, do you want some beef? Cheer. Yeah. It's like yeah, nah. I always mention about yeah, nah is such a weird saying that us Kiwis have because it's telling you two different things. Like, do you want to go to the shop? Yeah, nah. Is that like, yes, you do want to go to the shop, or nah, you would rather not go to the shop? It's tricky to tell. So if they get in the car, they're going to the shop with you. If they don't, then you know that it was actually the nah rather than the yeah. Now Gonzalo Bertrano feeding this ball into the scrum. Just as I mentioned, we haven't had many scrums. We get one on the halfway line, but there wasn't a scrum reset. And I like this very much because when you get that free-flowing rugby, that was very flat to Emiliano Boffelli, but they're still hanging on to it. Gonzalo Bertrano now looks to his short side, almost ends up going into Dutch. And also bringing Spanish to the next level. Says it was Max Bauer and also yeah. And there, so short, but said sure, pretty much. So it's pretty much like yeah type thing. Or like thanks as well. So if someone gives you like a piece of beef, for some reason, beef is on my mind currently. So if someone gave you beef and you're like sure, like it's kind of like thanks as well. And we have the same in Afrikaans, Jane. And there as well, says the Gareth, but now currently hanging on to it, Juan Cruz Malia. In fact, it's going to be the youngster Santiago Cordero trying to pierce his way through, but dragged down by Magnus Bradbury. Already up to 33 minutes through. It's a loose ball for Argentina, trying to jump back on it, and nicely stolen back by Argentina after Scotland touched the ball for half a second. Big power there from Matt Fagerson. Looks like Luke Crosby was staying down for a little bit longer than he would have liked to. Still looks a little bit wobbly on his feet. I think it's actually a shoulder, the collarbone. Looks like it's causing him some problems. But now fired high from Emiliano Boffelli, looking straight into the sun here now. Not quite taken cleanly by Darcy Graham, who has had a quiet first half. But now manages to kick it way back down the field. Nicely taken by Argentina. And now Juan Cruz Malia trying to go straight through, and he does just that. Perfect support run as well. And all they need to do is run for the corner. Santiago Cordero dragged down by Duan van der Merwe. Now around the side to the short side. And that is the try for Santiago Carreras. And I know I slept in, and you subconsciously did the head nod. He said you just before, says Ray. And almost, yeah, but nah, next week, And also not bad, mate. Hikamai. Oh, no, I'm going to butcher this as well. And also we have got there Hikama Hoa, loosely translated as bloody hell in Maori, says Dallin there. And also we have got there, I missed the first 30. How close has Argentina come to free-flowing rugby? It's actually, I've been very much enjoying this game. And to be honest, the way that this game has been flowing has almost been one of my favorite of the weekends. Because it's just like both sides are just letting each other play. There's been kicking, but it's also been kicking for a reason rather than just kicking to give up position. And Carreras, that pronunciation, says Max Power there. And also I took RGs and 7 points on Super Brew. So you might not be too far off for this contest. And also, hey, Toroa and Sputs, only for the time they've had positions. Or in Spurts, only for the time they've had position. And also we have got the Nyamihi Kiwi lads, says it was Nathan there as well. But yeah, I feel like Maori is one of those ones because I believe actually Pablo Matera knows quite a bit of Te Reo Māori from his time here in New Zealand. And I would like to learn a few more sentences. I feel like I'm one of those people who would love to be able to learn like 5 to 10 sentences of like the main languages just to be able to communicate like at the basic level, if that makes sense. But now Emiliano Boffelli, I wouldn't have had him kicking, to be honest. I would have given it to Santiago Carreras with the way that he's been going. But Emiliano Boffelli trying to line up this kick. And that time he's got it over, though. And that is going to make the score now 18 points to 6 in favour of Argentina. And also we have got there Hormati. And there, so it says Dallin also says Maori an official language in New Zealand as well. It is. So we have got English, Maori, and also New Zealand Sign Language, which I don't really know a lot of, unfortunately. I know that is G, A-E-I-O-U. Other than that, though, I don't really know too much else. I think there's something to do with that, and I think that's B. Something. I don't know too much about sign language as well. He slotted that one, says Roberto. Now nice clearance from Santiago Carrera. Still only 3 minutes left of this first half. And I just can't get over how quick it's gone for this contest. Like, if someone said you've been going for 16 minutes, I would believe them in this contest. 12 points different, though. Argentina looking very solid in the early stages of this contest. And now the throw for George Turner. And also, great play from the player who secured that ruck, says Broderick Fuller. And also, what sport is more popular in New Zealand? A, rugby union, B, cricket, C, badminton, says Max. So I would say it's actually almost in that order that you have put for rugby and then cricket and then badminton. I know that we've got a New Zealand badminton team called the Blackhawks, I think is our team. And also Wii Sports says, I am nothing. I love me a good game of Wii Sports. That's going to be a nice chase there. Santiago Carreras has been able to get involved in that one again. Dawn van der Merwe, no option, but to just kick that one dead. Now 5 meters out, it is going to be the scrum feed for Argentina. They are keeping the pressure on Scotland all the way through this contest, and the Argentine crowd are certainly getting their money's worth for the way that Argentina are playing in this matchup, but just knocked out of their hands. It was a great chase in the end from, I want to say it was Matthias Orlando chasing that one, and also long live the Blackhawks. Says Sebastian, and also we have the Blackhawks. Says Max, yep, literally the team of our badminton side, because of the shuttlecocks that you use in badminton. That is why they are called that. And also, don't Google the New Zealand badminton team, says Reita Roa. And also we have got now the score reflects the game. I was hoping for more from Scotland as Hogg on the bench. Sadly, he is not. He is only here in spirit because he's undead at the moment, Stuart Hogg. But yeah, he's not actually playing in this contest, and I would have loved to see him out there. And also we have got there rugby, of course, in there as well. And BBC Power. There's Marco Vanapola, but the ball about to be fed in for Argentina. Now Pablo Matera finds the offload off and almost dropped by De La Fuente, the man who did score a try not too long ago in this contest. Gonzalo Bertrano off now to Orlando. Now, once again, Bertrano, one more off the Carreras. Tries to spin out of that challenge. Matt Fagerson over the ball. And he wins the penalty for Scotland as well with only 1 minute left in this half. Yeah, getting very close to the end of what has felt like the quickest half of rugby I've pretty much ever seen. Also, is that the same as up-kilting? Not sure what that is. Also, we have got there, I just walked into a strange conversation, says not your everyday cultist. You certainly have, mate, but I hope you are doing well. Did you enjoy the Springboks game, or was it very frustrating to watch that one? Because at the end of the day, it just seemed like every time like that kick came in, it just didn't seem like it worked out. It's Finn Russell on the bench. He is also missing from this contest. And Ray Tora Nohiako says, Dalen, unfortunately, I only know those 2 sentences of high five, just kidding, and also see you next week. They're my only 2 that I've got. Now, Pierre Schurman, they tried to go. Oh, it's another mistake. And it is now going to be Argentina's ball here at scrum time. That will be ticking over to almost 40 minutes through this contest. The Springboks game was far too bad. On my heart, my man says, not your everyday cultist. Yeah, just like it didn't seem like it was working. And then that last kind of half, or those like 3 minutes where they got 2 rolling maul tries, just changed the game for them as well. But even right to the last moment, I was nervous for both sides. Do the Hobbits exist for real and live in New Zealand, says Max Power, only in the movies. I haven't seen any Hobbits around that I know of anyway, although I'm probably not in the right region. Also, Australia done so well last night. Says Balmain there. They certainly did, getting themselves the win over England, playing with 14 men on the field as well, and now it is going to be the big push. And it looks like Gonzalo Bertrano fires it back into the pocket, and Argentina kick it into touch halftime in this contest, and it is 18 points to 6. And what has been a very quick half, like I mentioned, go Argentina up the south all the way, says Moretz. And I always thought Argentina were flirting with New Zealand Māori style of running rugby at international level, and hashtag Southern Hemisphere sweep. The act of looking up a kilt for sexual gratification from Urban Dictionary. I didn't know that one. Roberto, that is certainly a new one. I didn't know, or did not know about it. So besides that, but very good from Los Pumas. Wasn't there to look up a kilt and you find a banger and some eggs. And also 9 out of 9, hopefully. Says not your everyday cultures. And lost 3 matches have been great. Australia, Box, and the All Blacks. No, Argentina, great week for Southern Hemisphere. Yeah, in this stage, I'd have to say, like, Argentina have had a majority of the possession throughout the early stages of this contest. 40 minutes flew by, like I mentioned, off topic. Are you a fan of Stranger Things? I have watched the first, if there's 4 seasons, I've watched the first 3. If there's 3 seasons, I've watched the first 2, because I am still a little bit behind. So no spoilers, if that is all right. I'm terrible at watching Netflix just because I watch that much rugby and then I sleep throughout the day and don't really get too much of a chance. And anytime I'm not editing or streaming, I'm sleeping or pretty much doing something YouTube related in Southern Hemisphere. Boys, clean sweeps, firm milk and granola in California. And also, would groundskeeper Willie qualify for USA or Scotland? That's a good question. I like his thick Scottish accent, so probably Scotland for the groundskeeper Willie. And also, is New Zealand located at the upside down, says Max Powell? Some would say so, because some maps we don't even exist on. I get the milk trying to figure out the granola, says it was Gareth. And also uptilting and tossing the caber, our national pastimes in Scotland. I actually, caber toss, I have actually taken part in before, if that is what I think it is, because we actually had a Scottish heritage game and I was strategic with that because it was at primary school and there was tug of war, and I was like, right, I'm about this big. I'm not winning tug of war. So I found the biggest and the baddest females in my year, and I said, right, ladies, this is our competition to win. Like, you guys just do all the pulling and I'll just sit at the front and act like I'm pulling. So that is how we did it, and we won easy peasy. And it was brilliantly done. We didn't win a prize, I don't think, sadly. So all my hard work of organising the dream team just didn't quite work out for us. And it was nice that you have the hemisphere love amongst yourselves. Up here in the north, we don't so much history between the countries. We just bollock each other. And also it is, says Dallin. And also we have got there, which match for you was the match of today? I think Australia match, says Sergio. Yeah, Australia's match was very entertaining up against England just because of that adversity side of things. In fact, all of the matches today, I would say, have been pretty decent. All right, I don't think we've had any really rough games in the process. I quite enjoyed New Zealand, Ireland, but it was probably, I'd say Wales, South Africa at times was probably very, very nerve-wracking. Anyone? But what we are going to do is we're going to whip out the guitar because it's pretty much see-through at this stage, because for some reason my guitar is just better at camouflaging than a chameleon. But I almost learnt the rest of Iron Man. And also Bauer, do we speak on him? Says at Bodrick Fall. I think George Bauer actually did all right in the last matchup up against Tyke Furlong. There we go. That ain't too bad. And of course we do, Gareth. And also we don't really band together as a Southern Hemisphere. It's just that all the terrible countries are in the north, says Ray. Still needs some more work, of course. And also it's because we all know they are amongst the best of all time, New Zealand, South Africa, and Australia. We love Argentina because they are like a little brother. And also, are there more sheep than humans in New Zealand? There are indeed. I believe there's actually quite a few countries that have got more sheep, but I think it's like 4 sheep per person. And also, Crowded House, the only Kiwi band I know. You sound better than them, says Max Powell. And also, well, if you close your eyes, it's like Black Sabbath is right there, says Ray. What else have we got? We got Smoke on the Water. Whoops. And also, can you do walk 5,000 miles to give Scotland some inspiration? I don't really know it too well, I don't think. How does it go? I don't even know. I'm terrible at trying to work out songs on the go. No, we're here at House of the Rising Sun, New Zealand bands, Follow the Concords. Now, which Kiwi rock band? I don't actually know too many. And also, can you show content of the match, says Nick Robb. Sadly, due to licensing, we are unable to show match footage or audio, but we are currently sitting at halftime in the contest, so there isn't too much to show. I'm trying to work out where 5,000 miles comes. That'll inspire the Scottish, won't it? Oh, I know this one. I feel like Scottish people love this song. To be fair, anyone loves it because it's like that big dart one, so you really need the ba-da-da-da from the Proclaimers as well. Here's the rain. Also, 66 million sheep, 120 million chickens in New Zealand. And then there's the match content. We have this halftime show, says Max Power, and also you can play New Zealand national anthem, a diabetes on scale 1 and 2. Says I am nutty there. And that's actually something I want to do for the World Cup is play the New Zealand national anthem. That's not it, though. And also, can I see and hear the match? Sadly, due to licensing, it does mean that we aren't able to show any match footage or audio. So I do apologize for that, but we will be doing the commentary in the second half once it does come back. It is just quite a long halftime break and not bad. Like more practice, you'll be the next superstar, says Sergio. See, that's the thing. My friend Isaac, he is one of the other Kiwi lads. He literally just absolutely just can do crazy stuff on guitar. And also this guy with that DRIP and the fresh tunes, you're really rocking the halftime show. Says not your everyday cultist. I feel like one of the only riffs that I can really do is You Give Love a Bad Name by Bon Jovi. Are you a rugby fan? I am indeed. I absolutely love rugby. We have done 6 rugby live streams today. Sounds a tad off key. It's probably just me, to be honest. I'm not the best on the guitar. And Australian national anthem Down Under from Man at Work. Not quite, but it would be an interesting one. See how it goes. I think I've done all of the songs that I know, other than and Bon Jovi the Goat. And that's how, yeah, we used to actually have the tape deck in my dad's work truck, and that was like the only CD that was in there. So it's kind of cool that that was one of the songs that I actually learnt first. And I don't think you can revive me from the New Zealand game is the fact that Wales, England, and Scotland also lost, says Jack Cooney there, although we have still got another 40 minutes left in this match. And happy birthday and have a laugh. Oh, having a laugh, mate. You're a lot better than me, says Adrian there. And also the clapping emoji, says Ray. And also we have got the other rock on emoji from Mickey. And also, can you get carded for headbanging music? Who knows? Maybe. And also, who do you follow? Says Nick. So I should say New Zealand, but I've developed this skill of being able to be pretty much completely impartial no matter the match that has taken place. And I think it's very useful for the commentary because the one thing that I always find hard is if like a commentary is completely all just one team that they absolutely love, like it always makes it tricky for the other side to get behind it type thing. And Jack Cooney's comment exactly sums up the Northern Hemisphere. Says Sebastian there, and also I love my wife, says Delmain there. And also I'll get the score now, says not your everyday cultist and happy birthday, mate, says Maritz. And also hello, greetings from Malaysia, 27 degrees, 4 a.m. So very, very early. And also a true professional, says Mickey Mouse there as well. Yeah, like I mentioned, this is actually our 6th live stream of the night. And it is not going to be possibly the last live stream that we do today. I'll see how I'm going this afternoon. My eyes might get a little bit too heavy for my eyelids, so I might end up crashing a bit later on. But me and George are actually hoping to stay up and watch the UFC, but I'm not too sure whether or not my brain will allow me to. I'm convinced children are fed creatine from the age of 2 down south, says Jack Cooney. And yeah, and also UFC watch along, says Jack. It would be fun to do. It's just whether or not I am like awake enough. Because if I'm sitting here during the UFC one like that, I feel like that wouldn't quite be ideal. But my voice might disappear by that stage as well, which might be a bit concerning. Like if I don't talk for 3 or 4 hours, it's gone. Here we go. Gotta drink water. Oh, so we need Pro Neutro or Future Life from about 6's breakfast, says Gareth Ferguson. And there as well. But yeah, it's going to be awesome to see who wins those UFC matches. I also want to watch the Warriors play the Tigers, although that also overlaps, unfortunately. So it's a little bit tricky to be able to see both of them. But currently we have ticked over to another hour of this live stream. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back for the second half in a very short moment once it does come back. But it's a relatively long halftime break, like I mentioned. But the first half flew by. And also, HUI best drink ever, hydrate, says Sergio Games. Yeah, and I think that's why I sometimes have so much energy in the middle of the night, because I don't drink coffee, I don't drink tea, I don't drink energy drinks, I just drink water and kind of go from there. And also, isn't Pro Neutro sold in chemists in either Australia or New Zealand considered a supplement, not cereal? And yeah, I am not too sure. In 2 halves to go, Hamish, solid commentary, says Nathan there. And also, have a beer helps the voice, says Maritz there. Yeah, we might have to see how we go. Although I think me and George might be going to up the road. I guess I was going to say the exact place, but I feel like you guys won't know whereabouts it is. So I'll just say 30 minutes up the road where there are like fast food. And also, when is the next Blackcock game? I'll actually have a look. When do New Zealand have their next? They might actually be at the Olympics. Man, I want to, or not the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games. Badminton, New Zealand. So, upcoming events, that's what we want, isn't it? I have actually taken part in a badminton event before, believe it or not, although I wasn't a part of the Blackcocks. It was just kind of a smaller one. So they've got mini competitions going on all around the place by the looks of it. And also, you try Red Bull with a black coffee as well, says Sergio. And also, Timaru says, Gareth, it is Timaru. Then you need to try Argentina, mate, for energy, says Roberto. And also, we have got, I missed most of the first half, but watched the last try, which was pretty lucky, or which is pretty lucky, to be honest, says Kano there. And also, written like the Aussie, mate, but pronounced like mate in Matera, or Matir. Matir? So it's like Matir, because I know that mate is something else in Maori as well. Mati Mahi Kaura, I think it was a song that we used to sing at primary school, maybe. And Timaru is where George was going to KFC today, says Dallin. It is indeed. Yeah, he is going to be popping up the road 30 minutes away, having himself some K-fry, as we like to call it. I'll probably go with him if he does, like, kind of come into town first, and also playing guitar, commentating, responding to our comments. What's that? Dancing with the Stars, says Rihanna. I mean, I don't know how my dancing would go, although depending on how tired I am, I might be able to bust a few moves, just like Scott Robinson in the Super Rugby final, but probably not for the dancing side of things. We'll see how we go. Maybe in the alt penalty, maybe in the future. That's the thing. I feel like the world is our oyster, really. We can do like any random thing and nothing personal against badminton, but I find the New Zealand team hard to swallow as well, says Max Power. And also, thanks for streaming all the games today, says Sergio. No worries at all. We have done all the way through from the Pacific Nations Cup of Australia versus Samoa right through to this contest, and I wouldn't change a thing other than maybe the fact that I only got 5 hours sleep the night before rather than about 12, because I did end up editing most of the night before sleeping and getting straight into the live streams. But we got all the videos out that we did want to, which I feel like is one of the accomplishments that we were after. And also, Blackhawks is the best sports team name ever. Says kind of down in Canada, still 10-0. And also, Sergio, you also in San Francisco. I love the horizontal rumba. And there's us, says Karma Beach. Thrown in nicely by Scotland, but stolen by Argentina. The ball, Dawn for the Merva. Tried to slam that one down, but it was taken back by Argentina, and now a 5-meter scrum for Scotland. And also, who is Canada playing against? They are taking on Belgium in their matchup. But also coming on, or also happening this weekend, USA played the French Barbarians. And also we have got there, no South Africa, says Sergio, and there as well. And also, Kamati, I'm dead. Colder, I'm alive. So Kamate, colder. And there as well, says that Dallin there. Doesn't the haka says something about a hairy man on a ladder or something, doesn't it? Up the ladder. Well, this is the hairy man that then chose to shine the sun on me. Up the ladder till to where the sun shines here. I think that is what it is, or something along those lines. Okay, got distracted by the bridge, says Roberto. And also we have got there was an Africans Cup for rugby as well. And there says, I am nutty. And I think they're actually up to the semi-finals, aren't they? I believe Namibia are going to be taking on Zimbabwe in one of those upcoming matches. Duan van der Merwe wasn't a mile off there. And Kamehameha, says Gareth there. And Tenate Huru says right there. Oh, tell you what. He didn't have huge amounts of control over that ball, but it wasn't a mile off either. Taken back by white, knocked on by blue. So I believe that's actually going to end up being a 5-meter scrum in favour of Argentina now, which is a massive one for Argentina. 38 minutes left in this contest, and currently with a decent lead starting to form here for Argentina at 12 points. They've already scored the twice. South Africa, or sorry, not South Africa, Scotland, yet to get themselves their first try of the contest. Okay, Nick Berry looks very confused. Okay. So Argentina scrum feed. Nick Berry's face looked utterly confused for that one. Hi says, it was crazy indeed. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. And my in-laws are Scottish. What are they doing wrong out there? Says Ray. Unfortunately for them, they just haven't really had enough of the position, and they are letting Argentina kind of choose exactly where this game ends up going. Scotland can use those big physical forwards. I like what Matt Fagerson was doing in the first half, if he can do a little bit more of that, and also Duan van der Merwe. I don't know whether or not he got a single run in that first half. Same with Darcy Graham. And no, he jumped into the Akumra pit, and the old woman hit him. So he looked up and saw, you can see the action to the groin area, says Dalen there. And also, that's all the refs this weekend looking confused. And Duan van der Merwe, go Glasgowian, name that. And also same Amari and Scottish. And that is going to be the penalty now to Argentina, and Pumas front row stronger than Scotland. And they're looking very, very good indeed. As Nahuo Titas Chaparro and also Francisco Gomez Cordella. Michael Jecker, he's having a nice drink from a miniature cup. And also come on something else where Bot game was tight. Says Johan, it was indeed going right down to the wire. But in the end, South Africa just able to hang on and keep that perfect record alive up against Wales and South Africa. That bus was going quick in the background. Whoever was driving it was certainly going downhill. And also African slash Scottish, says Crazy NZ. Oh, sorry, that was actually Gareth. And also we got the beef, says Roberto, and also Vamos Pumas scrum. And how, yeah, Gareth got jeans, says Crazy NZ there as well. Now, Julio Montoya, he's been a little bit quiet too this game, but he has been getting everything right that he does need to. Okay, bit of miscommunication at line-out time in terms of how many people were supposed to be there. It's going in nicely, but it wasn't straight. So unfortunately, I jinxed Julio Montoya there, saying that he hadn't done too much wrong, and that is probably one of his first things. And also, are you the only person left at the stadium? Says Max. It does look that way, doesn't it? There's not too many people behind me. And also, the South African once, her box. And also, their box had some luck on their side, says Sergio, and also just joined. I would think Argentina would be in the lead, says Jaden. Although I will mention to their, I guess, credit, Scotland have got a few players out. I won't say that it's like enough to really change the game, but no Stuart Hogg, no Finn Russell for this contest. So two big players in that back line. But Argentina at home have been looking very solid. And seat warmer, says Kaino there. It's gone down in the front row. And now I believe it is going to be another scrum reset. But do let me know what you think the full-time score will be, ladies and gentlemen, for this contest. Also, if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back next week with Scotland versus Argentina as well. And also, I want to visit Argentina. We got the Argentina barbecue restaurant down the road. It's insane. You can just imagine the beefiness in Argentina itself. And I wasn't expecting a close match between the Box and the Welsh. Says Crazy NZ. I don't think anyone was. But they just managed to keep fighting. Like Wales being 18 points to 3 up looked massive for them. If you don't have some luck in sport, you lose, says Moritz there. And yeah, South Africa, they certainly used up every little bit of luck that they could have in that contest as well. But now it is going to be Ali Price about to feed this ball in once again for Scotland. And also the best cuts for export, as far as I remember, and Hogan Russell is a big loss for Scotland. Sees it Mickey Mouse, and yeah, losing both of those players in the same contest. Brilliant run forward. This is what they need. A couple more big attacking runs with their midfield. I believe it was Mark Bennett there, one of his first carries. Or in fact, no, it was Darcy Graham. I've seen him that really that I've forgotten what the man looks like. Ferguson, nice run forward. Now King on, goes off short side. Now it is going to be Mark Bennett in the midfield. And Argentina, I have to make sure that the defense is on point. It's going to be another advantage. So, RG's known for exaggerating their accomplishments. But as one living abroad, I must recognize that any and all bragging related to barbecue is totally true. Says Roberto there. There's another penalty to Scotland. I think they'll have to kick for the corner here. Okay, he said, I'd like to go for the corner, please. And what happened to Hogg and Russell? I think they just ended up resting them for this series. So I'm sure they'll have some sort of logic behind it. But, yeah, both of them actually missing for this one. Nice kick for the corner. And only 5 meters out now. It is going to be Scotland who have got themselves the line out 5 meters out. And also England is getting a breakdown or beatdown from Indian bowlers. And they are 84 for 5. Yeah, I did see that they were losing a few wickets relatively quickly. When I visit What They Feed Me is the best meat in the world. So locals at the best, eat the best too. Is Roberto. Right, this is a massive opportunity for Scotland, and it looks like George Turner's not too happy with the way that the gap has been closed throughout this matchup. Throwing it into the front. Nicely taken by Johnny Gray. And straight away, Scotland lose about 4 meters, but now they start to drive forward. It's getting close to the touchline. In fact, it's very close to the side. Piyush Kurman now ends up with that ball. Marcos Kremer wrestles him down. Ali Price goes across now. Nice pop pass up from Hutchinson. Running onto that beautifully, King on. In fact, it's Bennett. And Bennett does score the try for Scotland. They're back in this one. A traditional Fijian barbecue is nice. You just have to catch the guy third. And also, we've got the best cut thing is objective as well. For instant, countries will import fillet, etc., and not the tasty short rib and chunky steak. And also, we have got the Gareth Ferguson. Are you the G-Man? Sierra Repent, not quite. Unfortunately, G-Man actually passing away earlier on in the year, and IRA American beef. As good as Argentinian. What I really like is the South African braai. And also, who says Mickey Mouse? And also, what was the score between Australia and England? It was only a couple points difference, I believe. Australia won that game, I want to say 30 points to 28. Something along those lines. And also, Hamish, how you control your eyes from not sleeping. It's the full day. Well, it's full day you sit in doing live streams. Don't you get tired? It's full of energy. You got on every live streams. I think I just get very lucky with the timing overall. And with the rugby being on, it certainly helps keep me awake. And then having you guys in the chat as well is absolutely awesome. But we have got a new member. Thank you very much, Dallin, for hitting that membership button. It is hugely appreciated. You now have access to those exclusive emojis that we have got there. And also 30-28 Wallabies bomb score. And also, yes, many countries have great barbecue traditions. Korean is delicious too. And also it was 30-28 to Australia. And also, wait a minute, Scotland without their 2 best players says not your everyday cultists. They are at this stage. If, of course, those 2 best players are Finn Russell and Stuart Hogg. But now Kinghorn going to be lining up this kick here. And he's missed. So it is going to remain at 18 points to 11. And also, no man, unfortunately, G-Man passed away earlier this year. Says Gareth there. And also, is Hogg or Russell going to be back next week? I'd like to think that we will get to see one of them, but I'm not even sure if they've made their way into the squad, to be honest, which is a pretty tricky one with Scotland. But maybe just trying to get some of the future going through and used to stream during the Football World Cup. We have actually got plans to do the Football World Cup on the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, which is our other channel that we have got. And we did do New Zealand versus Costa Rica. It was a shame to see the Kiwis knocked out, but we are still going to be covering plenty of that World Cup on that Kiwi Lads Sport channel, so be sure to check that out. And an Argentina barbecue is religious ritual, though, says Roberto. And also Stuart Hogg's the ball, says it Crazy NZ. And so pretty much meat is the best, says Kino. And also, wasn't it 30-14 to Australia? It was. And then there were 2 late kind of extra tries scored by England that got them back into the contest. Now, going back once again to Santiago Carreras. Sees the space down the middle of the field. And it looks like it's just going to keep on rolling and rolling and rolling. But it might pull up in the in-goal area. Yes, it does. And now it is going to be the goal line dropout. Goal line, says Nick Berry. And like they're saying, if it carried one more metre, it would have been way further down the field. And also the Ricans kicked the Kiwis out. And as well, or the Costa Ricans kicked the Kiwis out. They did. It was unfortunate for the Kiwis, of course. And I thought it was 30-14. I probably just left early. Says it was not your everyday cultist. And also we have got then England scored 2 late tries celebrating like they won. And also you talk about the game. Or just world barbecue, says Celtic Yoga. Or Celtic Yoga, I think it might be as well. Bit of both. We do enjoy mixing it in with food and rugby. That one's gone into touch. And now 40 metres out from the line. Blair Kinghorn is absolutely ecstatic with the way that he kicked it. And now the line out. Going the way of Julia Montoya. And also, sorry, it is lunchtime here, says Roberto. And also one thing I'll hype up is South African lamb. Karoo specifically, those little Bo Peeps. Yummy, says Gareth there. And also still can't wrap my head around the fact that England rugby going backwards. Can't even beat 14 players on the field. Says Nathan there. And yeah, will be interesting for their next match. It's going to be brilliant work in the breakdown from Scotland. And they win the penalty. They're starting to find a bit of momentum here in the second half. Ali Price considered taking it quickly. I think they are going to be kicking it for the touchline. Marcos Crema, the man getting penalised there for Argentina. Also, hi, I'm from South Africa. If you're from New Zealand, what's your time there? Didn't you even sleep since your live stream this morning, says Francois. So currently we are sitting 8:21 a.m. New Zealand time. I haven't slept since about 11 a.m. yesterday. So I've been up for about 21 hours. We've done in the process of that about 15 hours of live streams for all the rugby matches that we have done, whether it's happening in Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and now in Argentina. So yeah, I'll probably sleep massively tomorrow. But for now, we have still got one more game of rugby. And also Marcos Crema says that Max Power and also Hamish doesn't sleep. Says Gareth, and also Scotland looking good. Says Kano, yeah, it seems like the second half has really turned the game around for them. It's been thrown in nicely. And now currently waiting for this one to start rolling forward. And also the robot, says Kano. I mean, I might be slightly robotic at times. I would say only a couple metres out. Now it's another advantage going the way of Scotland. George Turner able to wrestle his way down towards the ground. Now Pierre Schorman looking to pass it off. No, instead he goes himself. And if they score themselves a try now and convert it, now Fagerson getting extremely close. That was Xander Fagerson, in fact. Now Johnny Gray around the side. Looks like Ali Price going to be going off to this near side, off to Kinghorn. He goes through, ball on the inside to Hutchinson, and he scores a try. Brilliantly done from Scotland, and they get another one, and my man works the night shift. There's not your everyday cultist. And that is going to make this match just a little bit closer between these two sides. It's going to be extremely close at the end of this one, I have a feeling. But nicely done by Scotland there. And like they're saying, it's the pressure that Scotland are making that is really making it very tricky for them. And let's get some Southern Hemisphere chance. Says not your everyday cultist. And also, woo, says a Mickey Mouse there as well. But Rory Hutchison, nice ball on the inside. Max Powers not too happy with that one. Argentina. Says not your everyday cultist. Yeah, Argentina, the last 15 minutes or so have really not gone the way that the first half did. So they've got to be careful with Argentina if they don't want to have any more tries scored against them. And it makes sense that these two teams would be close. But it would be disappointing for the Pumas to lose at home, says Roberto. It would be. But 55 minutes through, Scotland now have got themselves another opportunity to get a couple more points on the board. Rory Hutchison, they are saying that it is his first cap in 2 years. And ole. Oh, I realized that was like the ole, wasn't it? Rather than me just saying ole a few times in a row. Kinghorn to make it 18-all between these two sides. Taking his time to make sure that this one does strike it nicely. It's curling, but it's gone over. And now the score, it is going to be 18-all between these two sides. And also box loss to Argentina a few times in the dark. Alistair Kutsia days as well says it was Gareth Ferguson. And also Scotland will get this win without their two key players, Stuart Hogg and Finn Russell, says Francois there as well. But now I mean, Kinghorn has been going very well in this match. He gave the ball nicely on the inside to Hutchinson and then bumping out of the tackle of Nahul Tetas Chaparro. Wasn't quite able to stop him from charging forward. It's a loose ball. Argentina take it back though, and now it's going to be Emiliano Wolfeli inside of the 22. Off the side, Gonzalo Berrano. And it looks like Vivas has made his way out onto the field now for Argentina. Nice wide cutout pass. This is looking dangerous now. Matthias Orlando gets very close to the line and still waiting for it. He's tried to go over, and it is the try now for Argentina. Or is it? I think they want to check this one, but it might be the try for Gonzalo Bertrand. Good on you, mate. Awesome. Joe, keep it up as well, says Moritz there. And also, how do you do the Mexican wave in the chat? It's a very good question. Also, Scotland still missing their main lock. And there as well. And also, Hamish Watson missing from this contest. And if we lose this one, we should bring down the government. And also, didn't Alice Kurtzia coach when the Springboks won in 2007. Still get your point, though. Those were dark times, darker than the plague. And also, and we score, says Roberto. And Max Power is very happy with that one. I believe Gonzalo Berrano, I think he just got it over the line. Nice response to Scotland show of disrespect, says Roberto. And also, I started with you at the All Blacks versus Ireland. I'll stay with you to the end, says Dallin. Dallin. And yeah, it's hugely appreciated. You guys have been sticking around pretty much throughout the whole day. It's not just me who has to stay up late. There's also you guys who've been sticking with me. And also on your face, William Wallace, says Max Power. And Vamos Nike. And also the Kieran emojis from Rio. And also, okay, guys, let's just spam the emoji for the Mexican wave. Here's a Noche Everyday Cultures. And also Vamos My Argentina. Are they still checking this one? It was initially on the line by the sounds of it. Okay, they're going to do an official referral. Well, I've just seen the highlight of South Africa versus Wales game. Well, 18-3 to South Africa, or sorry, to Wales at halftime. Yeah, they were going very well in the early stages of that contest. Then it just ended up going wrong. And also they have a 40-inch TV for TMO. So here's a Rio game of there. Yeah, Nick Berry has to run his way over to the TMO. I'm in front of the team, just chuck him on. What happens if it's raining? Because surely if it's raining, that's getting very wet. Unless, of course, they've got like some sort of canopy over the top. Right. Does this get down for Gonzalo Bertrand? For me, that's on the line. I think that's close enough. And is it Wales or Wales in there? It is without the H. And also, personally, from a self point of view, it was one of the worst performances from our team I've ever seen, says Not Your Everyday Cultist. Okay. It's on the line for me, says Nick Berry. And if Nick Berry says it's on the line, it's probably not on the line. But that rolls onto the line there. That is a try. And there's a couple big birds on the screen. And also, does Bonilla play for the Pumas, or has he before? If you know, Bonilla. The name rings a bell. But I can't quite remember. Has he played for the Sharks, actually, now that I think about it? Because you've got that Sharks logo, and for some reason that's kind of reminded me. But it is going to be a try to Argentina. And Aussie plays 10 for the Sharks. That is where I've heard the name. That one, I don't know whether or not he has had an opportunity for Argentina in the past. He's a decent player, though, so maybe in the future. That's the thing with Nicolas Sanchez being the first pick fly half every time. Has Nick Berry even given himself a high five yet? Not quite, but I think there might be one coming up relatively soon. And yes, he has played for the Pumas. Oh, okay, so he has actually got some caps. How many caps has he got, Roberto? Do let me know. And when was the last time that he did play for Argentina? Emiliano Wolfeli. About to kick this one. And it goes away to the side. And also, did you hear the South African crowd singing the anthem? I did. It was extremely loud, which was like, it was crazy to hear the support that South Africa had. And then for that first half to go the way that it just didn't quite set up the way that the crowd would have liked. But luckily, in the end, South Africa is still able to get themselves a win. And they will be going into the next match in the series up against Wales. And they are 1-0 up now. Kicked off by Scotland at 18 minutes. And I mean, this first 18 minutes has actually gone slower, I think, than the first full 40 minutes. That's a good kick downfield. Scotland want to take it quickly, and can you sing the time, says Jack. So currently, for the time, one moment, we'll go like that. Hopefully it's not going too badly. A little bit of push and shove there, almost off the ball, but currently we are sitting 59 minutes. There's one of my poor tuna fish. Says Gareth there now. It will be Xander Ferguson. Please try say my surname. Okay, is it Funderveer? Or I keep on saying Funderveer just because I'm used to saying like Fundervesthuizen, but it is Funderhever. Funderhever? No, I'm Hever. Is it something a little bit spicy in there, I guess you could say? And also, why does Black Caps not play on Sky Sport anymore? It's because the licensing has actually gone to Spark Sport occasionally, but it depends on the series. On paper, South Africa look one-sided. And yeah, I'm blown away. And also, Thunder Heaven. So it's Heaven. Okay. And also, Damian Valimza. And they played so well. Not just his kicking. He really grew throughout the URC as a player, and he stepped up to the stage, played out of position, and won the game for us. Says not your everyday cultist. And the big thing with Damian Valimza was anytime he ran the ball, he was making meters, which is why I love the fact that he was actually getting the opportunity to have a bit of a crack in that second half. And Funderhever. And also, I think Diaz Bonilla played last for the Pumas in 2018. He only has 4 caps. Says Roberto. And also Jean-Claude Van Damme. And Vamos Crevi making his way out onto the field, the 37-year-old. And also, Lewis Reese is so quick, says Bushpig. Yeah, Lewis Reese, damn it. In a foot race, he is extremely hard to stop and looking dapper. Hamish, good to see you again, says Darren Smith. And the feeling is mutual, mate. Hope you are doing brilliant. And Vamos Crevi, says Max Power there. You're playing for the London Irish in the Gallagher Premiership. Now getting another opportunity for Argentina at international level. But it is going to now be Ali Price feeding in this ball. And Coombs over Doris. And there as well. Says Jack. Okay, I see Ewan Ashman has made his way onto the pitch, and that is for George Turner. I don't think Rory Sutherland, okay, he has just made his way out there, and also Shaban Sebastian has also come out there, and also Bafali leaving too many points out there. Hopefully, it doesn't come back to bite, says Chalk Up Some Purchase, and Creepy only via long here, says Roberto there. Tied up at the moment, so we're not too bad. And also, I can't wait for the All Blacks versus Springboks, says Bushpig. Yeah, only about 31 days away, and we will be covering that game on the channel as well. And yes, I would go with Carreras on kicking duties. And also, you look like bank clerk. I need a loan, let's talk, says Max Power. I mean, that's the thing. I could also probably sell car insurance if I needed to, and also going to be huge. There's not your everyday cultist, and also Scotland need WP now if they want to win, says Jack Kearney as well. But that ball just didn't quite feed into the scrum the way that they needed it to, because of it. Argentina have got themselves the penalty, I believe it is, or are they? No, it's just the free kick, so they're just going to kick it downfield towards the 22. See if they can put some pressure on. It's nicely taken, though, by Darcy Graham. Has had a quiet game. So with Dua van der Merwe, I think I've seen one run from the man. And going to be a long day if we play like we did today. See, there's that Gareth there. And also huge. Says not your everyday cultist. It's fired back. Kick downfield from Blair Kinghorn. Once again, taken nicely by Santiago Carreras. Goes for the kick in behind. It's not going to pull up, though. It's going to keep on rolling and rolling. It goes right back to where he kicked it from. And also, do you think a New Zealand clean sweep is likely? I want to say it was going to be 2-1, but seeing that match up against Ireland at Eden Park, something tells me that 3-0 might not be a mile off, but I hope Ireland are able to get themselves the winners. And certainly, we all know the All Blacks are a force to be reckoned with, says not your everyday cultures. And which team has played the best the best first half out of all the teams so far, says Bushpig. I would say first half. Not Australia and not England, that is for sure. Wales had a decent crack in that first half, that is for sure, up against South Africa. I want to also say that New Zealand had a pretty good first half. New Zealand most points, says I am nutty there. And then actually Fiji's probably a decent shout as well for their game up against Tonga. They did nicely. So is the E word out of the squad now? Are they going to try him again? And any update on Sexton? Went off concerningly early. Yeah, he did end up with, I think, a concussion, possibly Johnny Sexton. So hopefully he's going to be all right. AB's had as a cringin, says Nathan there as well. That is going to be another penalty to Scotland. And of course, box second half, says Maritzi. Yeah, they were phenomenal in that second half, the Springboks. England's second half wasn't actually terrible either, to be fair, like with the amount of tries that they were able to get for themselves, but I would still go with the Springboks and of course the box second half. Says Maritz there now. Blair King on kicking this one for touchline. It is 63 minutes through this contest now. And he does kick it into the corner, and Sexton might miss the next game, and no, Farrell said he passed his HIA. Oh, okay, so he will be all right, so Sexton can play. That is good news that he is going to be all right to go, because I know that there were a few other injuries taking place. Who was the one who got carted off on the stretcher? No, that was actually in the Wales game, wasn't it? That a player got carted off, and I think that was Thomas off the bench. And also, you can't say that name in public. And it was Daryl and Lutiaga, also disappointed, says not your everyday cultist. Now the rolling maul for Scotland starting to open up. Currently sitting about 10 metres out from the line, and it's well shut down by Gonzalo Berrano. The players had to try and get out of the way. Price going back across to Grant Gilchrist, the captain of Scotland for this fixture. Duan Funamova searching for the ball now. I like it. Rather than just sitting out on the wing waiting for the ball to come to him, he has decided that he wants to go to the ball. Nice run forward by Bennett. Now across. That is actually it. No, I thought it was Harry. Oh, sorry, not Harry. I thought it was Hamish Watson. That is Ford, unfortunately, for Scotland, because it could have been a try, and also he could have made it. Or he could make it, but it's not certain, and didn't enjoy the All Black start. So I'll use the chess symbol for a dubious Māori All Blacks, the better, says Dallin there. I'm surprised that Farrell didn't take someone's head off in that game, says Bushpig. And what was the score in South Africa versus England, please, says Super. And there, so South Africa, they played Wales, and it was just a little sneaky win for South Africa by 3 points. And then England ended up being defeated by Australia by 2 points. And then also all of a sudden Flow Sports turns on the Scottish commentators in minute 64. And why aren't these July internationals being played for respective trophies? Each incoming series should have a trophy. Won't that be a good idea? I know that a couple of them have got trophies, but not all of them, which I feel like they should have some sort of reoccurring theme type thing, just to add a little bit more prestige to it. And also, your work rate has to be applauded. There's the stuff champions are made of, says JP Meyer. Yeah, we are up to about our 15th hour of live streaming today. And yeah, about our 21st hour of being awake, I think, somewhere around there. I think if Ireland plays 80 minutes, the same as the first 20 minutes, and keep New Zealand in there, like England did, beating us in the World Cup, says it was there from Delmain. And also, we have got there, have to commentate, or you're having to commentate for 13 plus hours, says James Ogden. And thank you, says Super. No worries at all. Māori All Blacks had an awesome first half. They certainly didn't know concussion laws. Had a 12-day stand down. So if he failed HIA, no plan for 12 days, which is almost the whole tour. To be fair, our most beautiful berry is Halle Berry. Says Nathan there. And also, she has nice plums. And also, there's 164 watching. Let's pump up the lights in here. And Sebastian Chaval is the toughest rugby player, I think, says Bushpig. He's certainly a unit, that is for sure. We'll Juan him off, making his way out onto the park now. Another sub being made. Wait, Juan him off. He is not on the bench initially, so I believe that he will be that last-minute replacement maybe for Gonzalo Bertrano making his way into lineup. And also, I love the guy, says Roberto there. And also, have a miss Peter Stiftatoy. I need to start Pollard next week because Yankees was bust. Yeah, Yankees, he just didn't go well, did he? And Etzebeth as a unit, says Delmain, he certainly is. It's a hard man to get through. And he was actually, that's the thing, he didn't quite get as physical as I thought he might have up against Wales, but I think that was just because the stop-start play really affected the way that they were able to kind of dominate South Africa. Because normally when they get like the ball going their way, the penalties going their way, they can just kind of pace themselves out for the day, if that makes sense, for the 80 minutes. But when it's not quite rolling that way, it's very tricky. And good job, mate. Congratulations, says I stand there and could you live stream next week's Africa semi-final between Namibia and Zimbabwe, says Francois. If it is being shown anywhere that we can watch it in New Zealand, I will definitely consider it, depending on what time it's on, of course, because it may overlap with one of the other matches that we do on the channel. But do let me know whereabouts you can watch it if you are outside of South Africa. And yeah, I will see what I can do. And also, Etzebeth got swatted by Georgian winger, then did a dirty hit in the back. And Yankees is done no more. And also, Hammer Man, we stand together with our neighbours. So he's not your everyday cultist. And there as well, nice run forward. And I believe that was actually Mark Bennett, sorry, getting put under a huge amount of pressure. Argentina jumping on that ball and not being able to turn it over. It was Matias Alemano doing nicely. Now Pablo Matera, he's going to kick it downfield on the left boot. Gives it plenty of height. And now he's been able to find some decent space there, Pablo Matera. He actually mentioned in an interview I saw that in a past life he wanted to be a fullback, but he just didn't quite manage to find the opportunities as he moved into the fullback. Now Emiliano Boffelli kicks it high, waiting for this one to come down. Nicely taken by, it was Kinghorn once again looking for touch. And it's out on the full, and they're going back to where I got kicked from. And Pablo been kicking good lately. Yeah, he's really developing his game. And also, it's on Wednesday nights. Every time I find out and tell you. See that Francois. And also, imagine if Etzebeth became a professional boxer instead of rugby, he would be an absolute tank. That is true. And also, can you do a Namibia versus Zimbabwe poll at least? Says it was not your everyday cultist. Is that on this live stream or on the kind of like on the day that it has taken place? And Etzebeth versus Fury with Sal and ref totally out of his depth in South Africa versus Wales. Shocking performance from him. And the last 20 lost control, says Peter Thomas there. We'll go like that. Currently, it's quite cold here in New Zealand. I think we're sitting at about 0 degrees or 1 degree currently. So it's not too bad if you like the cold. But if you don't like the cold, it's a bit chilly. Now, nicely passed back across from Juan Cruz Malia. In fact, sorry, that was actually Gonzalez at number 6 for this game. Now a big attack and run from, I believe that's Facundo Iza. He's an absolute unit. Just made a pure muscle, that man. Emiliano Boffelli driven backwards in the tackle. And that's going to be the penalty advantage. He was trying his absolute best to get out of the breakdown. And this could actually give them an 8-point lead, depending on how this goes. It did go forwards. And also, what's your impression on Uzbekistan's rugby? I haven't really seen too much of them overall, but if they're trying to play, they're trying to play. You know, at the end of the day, we've got to try and help these younger or newer nations. At South Island, says Kano. Yep, I'm in the South Island. Also, can you do my next door neighbor versus my cousin? Says Stephen Bissett. And also Fury versus Etzebeth. Jesus, Etzebeth. Yeah, absolutely smoked, says Gareth there. We'll get some decent pay-per-view numbers, though. Uzbekistan versus Pakistan rugby should be a cracker as well, says Bushbig. And also, where are you in New Zealand? So I am about halfway up the South Island, in between, if you know where Timaru and Oamaru is, about halfway in between those two. But more than likely, I guess the easiest way of describing it is halfway in between Christchurch and Dunedin. Now, Smoking All Right, says Nathan. I reckoned the standout players, in my opinion, for South Africa today was Damian Valimza, Jasper Wiese, Heinrich Lowe, and Cheslin Colby. Yep. Those four were definitely impressive for them. Like Heinrich Lowe only getting a short amount of time out there on the field and showing that he's certainly got that power that he can possess. And then if you had to pick players for Wales, you probably go to Lupe Faletau. He had a very good game, I thought. Dan Bigger, even though he ended up in the bin and was a little bit back chatty, he still had a decent enough day with the kicking tee. It was just outside of that he did end up going a little bit wrong. They should play the Stands League. Says Max Power. And also a bit warmer here in South Waikato. And also, what's your opinion on the ref in the South Africa game, says Aretha Marks. I think there's always going to be decisions that people agree with and decisions that people don't agree with. That's a good shot from Emiliano Boffelli. And now it is going to mean that the score moves up to 26 points to 18. 8 points difference between the two sides. But yeah, I would say, like, yes, there were times where it seemed like it was a little bit 50-50, but overall, I guess it wasn't too bad. And also, hey, mate, here's Kirsten there. And also remember me with a last name like Vermeulen. Sorry, I feel like it's very hard to forget. Hope you are doing well. My mouth currently doesn't like the words that I'm trying to say by the looks of it. And also, the crowd went crazy when they showed Sir Richard Hugh McCaw. Says Bushbig there. My auntie lives in Tapanui. Says Dalmain. That is actually going to be the penalty now to Argentina. So this is definitely helping out the Pumas possibly get themselves towards a win on South African. And I think the yellow for Zammit was over the top, definitely, but it wouldn't have changed the result. Says not your everyday cultures. And also Killer Tide says Kirsten appreciate it a lot. And also, would you recommend pouring sugar or sweetener on coffee, says Max. Me personally, I probably, if I did ever have a coffee, which I haven't actually had one before, which I know people were like, you're lying, but yeah, never actually had a coffee in my life. I'd probably go sugar. And also, will you replay commentary of all the games next? Says, I am nutty there. Imagine that. Imagine going through and doing a watch along for every match that we've done already today in like a full 24-hour just onslaught of live streams. And it's 9 degrees and a Hokitika on the West Coast, South Island, says Kevin. And also I want to move to Balclutha and my granddad helped build the dam. And then also ABs will get the box horns. We play the game we played today, says Moritz, and also the boxer wins in boxing. Now it's going to be nicely done. Another advantage for Argentina for that one going down. And it becomes the penalty. Emiliano Boffelli won't mind trying to knock this one over once again. You've come on the side 18, so that will be Javan Sebastian has been penalised there. And also now Ireland's weak though, says that Joseph there. Right, Argentina, they could go for the corner if they really want to, seeing as they've got themselves the 8-point lead, and another converted try here would actually end up winning them the game completely. But then there's also that other option. Oh, they are going for the corner. I like it. Pumas playing aggressive here. And now Santiago Carreras kicks it. Oh, he's kicked it dead. Well, that didn't work. He's got that one well and truly wrong there for Santiago Carreras. And also Canada 38-0. And I want Fakatava to play against Ireland. Hopefully we see him next week, says Bushpig. And yeah, if it's in Dunedin as well, surely he gets that opportunity. But that just ended up curling a bit too far for Santiago Carreras. And also I live near Palmerston North, says Dalmain there. It's 12 degrees here in Durban, South Africa, where I'm at. And it's 10:45 p.m. in Canada, 38-0. So very impressive from the Canadians over Belgium here. Right, it will be Ben White about to feed this ball. And I remember him. He actually came on the field a while ago for Scotland, scored a try, and Carreras just blew it. Let's hope it's not bite us in the last minutes as well. Yeah, big mistake to have and roll in blackout time now in South Africa, says Aretha Marks. And damn, Canada means, or Canadian means business out the Kapiti coast. Says the Bushpig there. I'm actually going to have a look and see what the weather, or not the weather, but the temperature is currently for us. Okay, it says we're at, no way is it 11 degrees. If this is 11 degrees, okay, it feels like 9 degrees, but it still feels a lot colder. Like, I look outside, it's not sunny at all. It's a shocker. And Carreras, you learn how to roll your R's. You can move to Argentina tomorrow, says Max Power. And I think that is something that I am very lucky that I can actually do the tongue roll for R's, because they come in very handy for South African names, for Argentinian names, for French names, like any of those ones that have a little bit of R. That is probably where I can make a few extra, decent cracks pronunciation. That is going to be nicely done by Matthias Maroni there. And now Argentina have themselves a scrum. And also we have got the Nick Berry, the ref, played for Belgium, didn't he? Says, I am nutty. I mean, I know that he played for the Reds in the past, and I tried my hand at boxing to do some damage, but couldn't dodge stuff as well. And 2 left feet and a face painted target, says Gareth. And also, do you have your own Super Brew rugby pole? We actually don't, but it might be something that we could look at in the future. And also say Ferrero Carrel, or Ferro Carrel, is it? Ferro Carrel? And also, I've been practicing since I learned my name, says Roberto there. And also 6 degrees in Joburg, currently sitting 10:47. And also we have 16 hours of electricity max here, South Africa, because of rolling power outages. South Africa has the most amount of coal in the world, but we can't even have electricity. It's not your everyday cultures. Now it's another advantage. Fernando Isa tries to go on the outside to Gonzalo Bertrano. He did end up getting it wrong for that one, and it is going back for the initial penalty once again for Argentina. And this time I would like to think that they do manage to get the kick relatively. I mean, even if it goes to the 22, you just want to make sure that this ball goes out. What do they decide? Yes, they are kicking for the corner. And also, yes, stage 6 load shedding. And also Ferrocarril, for you rugby nerds, Los Pumas played on the Ferrocarril Agosto Stadium for many years, including several ABs game at 14 degrees in Snowdonia. At the moment, 9:48, and also goes Southern Hemisphere, woohoo. And also no load shedding in Durban. There's Gareth there, but now Augustin Crevi to throw this one from 22 meters out for the line out. And like they're saying, with 3.5 minutes left, they are just using up a little bit more of the time. No rush at all here. And now the rolling ball starting up again. And also, do you use coal to cook your braai in South Africa? And also, a good weekend for the North. Only Italy and France getting across the line, and that's against Romania and Japan. Shame, says JP Meyer, and also New Zealand Power is wind. Mostly Kerwin talking about the ABs. Says, I am nutty. It's going to be a knock-on now. Scotland have got the opportunity. If they get a try now, they have still got half a crack of being able to get themselves back into this contest, but it's almost all in the breakdown. Going back now for the scrum and Charcoal Wood. And also, we have got, thank you, Floods. Says, not your everyday cultist there as well. So the scrum feed now going the way of Scotland. They have got 3 minutes left. Yeah, we had a small flood. Here's Gareth. At the moment, Darcy Graham going over to meet his friends, the Pigeons, who are just over to the side. Gonzalo Bertrano, man of the match, and a late inclusion into the side for Thomas Kubeli. So he's done extremely well to be able to get himself that player of the match. And also, I want to watch the game, not hear your voice. If that was the case, I would switch on the radio and hear a professional at work, tragedy at work on YouTube, says Paul Reeds. So yeah, we do apologize that we can't show the game, but unfortunately, due to copyright, you can't actually show any match footage or audio without getting taken down for 3 months. So you may have to get your radio out, try and find yourself a nice little station for the last 2 minutes. And also looking pretty good for Argentina, says Kino. They certainly are. And also briskets, or briskets, I believe it is there. And also, shut up, he's not your everyday cultist. And also, we have got there almost 3 Pumas. Let's milk the scrum in there. But now 26 points to 18 as we currently sit here. Tackles made 5 for Gonzalo Bertrano, 37 or 57 passes, sorry, and also the 2 carries. But he was able to get himself the try earlier on. And there, and also, sorry, Paul, says it Maritz. There's also 3 minute scrum. Or 3 minute scrum, I should say, for Kino. And yeah, it's using up plenty of the time enough the Kiwi lads. And then as I says Bushbeck, and also we got the game on mute and play Kiwi lads over the top. And now passing it back across. It is going to be just outside of the 22. Now moving up to 40 out from their own line. One last crack for Scotland with 1:20 left on the board. There is pretty much no chance of a Scottish win unless they get over the try line right at this very moment. Kinghorn, it's a loose ball, going to use up a little bit more time. Brilliant tackle made by Argentina. Slow it down, and now it will be Ben White going for the kick in behind. Interesting choice when you are going to need a try. It's a decent kick, though, and Emiliano Boffelli takes it inside of his 22, gives it an almighty even while looking at 4-0 to the Southern Hemisphere. And I'm just playing video games while watching your streams. Says not the everyday cultist, and also my brother, have you slept today? Says Dude and Perfect. Not yet, but we will probably end up having a sleep at some stage throughout the day. And also I have the game on low volume, says Kano, and also have the Kiwi lad, says Maratz. There now Gonzalo Bertrano goes off to the short side. Martinez goes off to Emiliano Boffelli. Only 25 seconds left, bro. Listening to this man is so nice. Says that Bushbig there, and I do appreciate it a lot. We are going to be back for the international rugby next weekend, and Hamish at speed running these last 3 minutes so he can finally catch a rest. Says not your everyday cultist. It's a penalty to Argentina, and 9 seconds left on the clock. All they need to do, take the tap, kick this ball into touch, and they will end up winning this contest 26 points to 18. And checkmate, says chalk up some purchase, and thanks for the brilliant stream. Hamish as well says Mickey Mouse, they'll appreciate that. Right, what do Argentina want to do? They're in front of a home crowd here. Do the crowd want to see one last play from the Argentines? Oh, okay. Pablo Matera says he wants to go. Okay. It's kicked into touch by Carreras. Now, I want to say that was all Pablo Matera. He said, I want one more try, boys. And also they're going for the corner. WGF says Roberto. They've decided they want to give the crowd a show. Michael Checker's got a big smile on his face. He's going, what are they doing? And yeah, that wasn't part of the plan. And our rest Hamish says Bushberg, and also Hamish is the true man of the match. And great stream, Bawata says Maritz there on Rugby Championship 4-0, says Kleino. But now Augustin Crevi. The last thing that Argentina want here is a injury. But Augustin Crevi, it's stolen by Scotland now. And I think that is almost going to become Scotland's ball. They won't kick this ball out, I wouldn't think. They're going to be going for the cross-kick opportunity for Kinghorn. Waiting for it to bounce up. That one has now gone into touch. And that will be the end of the contest. And also, we've got Southern Hemisphere powerhouses of the game we call rugby, says JP Meyer. And also, South Owns and North says Max Power. And also, Southern Hemisphere boys. First test matches staunchly done, says Nathan there as well. But full time in this match, it was 26 points to Argentina and 18 for Scotland as well. So an impressive performance from the Pumas at home in front of a home crowd. They will be absolutely loving these celebrations ahead of them for this one. And also, dang, it was an 8 win gap. Oh, you weren't too far off, Rio Gamer, were you? I think, how many points did you say it was? A good day's rugby, I must say. Says Gareth, yeah, a lot of close games. And at the end of the day, we do get to see all of these matches take place again next week. 45-0. And great finding you, Hamish. Looking forward to the next one. A big abrazo. And there as well says Roberto, and Biota means brother. And there as well says Moritz. And also 11 says Rio Gamer. Yeah, not too far off. GG, go get some sleep, bro. You deserve it, says Kaino. And we might be back a little bit later on in the day. If not, it is because my eyelids are shut and I am well and truly sleeping for the rest of the month of July. Now, we probably will get about 12 hours sleep and then we'll be ready to go. Anything tomorrow? Says Gareth, if we do have something tomorrow, it will be an NRL live stream or a UFC live stream. That will be in the afternoon in about 8 hours' time, but more than likely we will have our next one on about Wednesday or so on the channel. And thank you for the solid weekend of commentary, Kiwi lads, says Nathan, no worries at all. And up the ABs, and also one more penalty kick, and would have gotten it. There's a Rio Gamer there. And who are Canada playing? They are playing Belgium for this contest. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Have a good sleep. Check you tomorrow, says Moritz there. And also last year, Northern Hemisphere, we are the greatest. Southern Hemisphere, hold my beer, says Kipper Kronk there. But yeah, nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all for the next